listening to
Tipsy Book Reads.
I'm Rebecca.
And I'm Jess.
And we're tipsy. Too many books on my TBR. Too many books on my TBR. Yeah. This podcast is like a book club for the antisocial. We make a drink inspired by the book we read and talk crap about life and fictional characters. We really hope you listen and drink along.
Side effects of listening to this podcast may include reading vivaciously, extreme bouts of laughter, tipsiness from craft cocktails, talking shit about life and fictional characters. Listen at your own risk.
Just a warning, this podcast is explicit. We are all over 21 and there are spoilers. We warned ya. Hi, bud.
Hi.
How you doing?
Good. How are ya?
I'm good. I'm excited to talk about this. What's wrong?
Where's my book? I was going to hold it up.
Oh,
Dang.
it's downstairs.
Dang. I was going to show it off.
Where's my Kindle? So much prettier. Your book is so much prettier than the Kindle, but hold on. It does say have the picture in the front. Typically. Beginning. Hello. Just one of those days.
Technology.
Cool. All right. Well,
anyways,
it's
we're
pretty.
reading Belladonna by Adalyn Grace.
Yeah. Who I guess is going to be at the oh no. What's it called? Oh my god. Okay, this is going to be the whole
Fantasy
episode.
Fabled Events BookCon. Fabled Fantasy.
Oh my gosh.
Our brains are not here today.
They're not working. This is so rude. Romantasy BookCon. Okay, that wasn't that hard.
It really was not.
That wasn't that hard at all.
Hosted by Fabled Fantasy Events.
Wow. Also, we're hosting a panel.
Yeah.
We're very excited about it. The lack of remembering the name is not from lack of excitement. It's just truly we're tired. We're just a little tired today. So that's our brains for ya. But yeah, she's going to be there and we're
That's
excited.
so exciting.
How do you feel about this book?
I'm not gonna lie, I had no idea. I didn't
Nothing.
I
No
knew
clue.
nothing about it going in. So just within the frame of knowing she was attending the book convention, so I was like, okay, it's romantasy.
Mm-hmm.
It was very different than I expected. I like it very much, but I was thrown for a loop. I'm not gonna lie. I was oh,
had no idea. But the minute they Death was a character,
same.
I was sold.
Same. Anytime death is a character in a book, you can count me in.
I found it. I found the picture. It's black and white, unfortunately, but anyways, yes, same. 1,000%, I'm sold.
Yeah. A lot of books that still stick with me that I've read from years ago are books that have death as a character.
The Book Thief.
Or a narrator. Yep. That's exactly what I was thinking.
Top 10. So good.
And not so much a character, but an active participant in the story is they both die at the end. Death is very much
I haven't watched it. I mean, I haven't read it.
I love that book. But yeah, anytime death is a big thing, I'm in. Count me in.
I love it. I think this book, so you know how you said Resand was made for you?
Yeah.
This book was made for me.
Okay.
I mean, mystery, murder, plants, death. The mixture is just everything I love. Okay, that didn't come out right.
It's a little macabre.
Not
they say.
that I
No,
love
I love it,
death, but in terms of a story, a written story, I was sold. Especially the plant part. But before we get into that, I just have a question for you. What you drinking?
Belladonna?
I
Did
scared.
we name it? It's not actually we're immune to the poison the way she is.
Yes.
So it's fine.
Nightshade who?
Yeah. It is. What did I put in this drink?
I have no idea. I didn't watch you make it.
A mixed berry simple syrup that I made from blackberries and blueberries, and then gin and creme de violet, which I've never used before, and which is just like violet liqueur.
And it's so good.
And the
wanna
full
watch-
recipe will be on our social media.
Okay. I was going to say, you want to watch the video really quick?
I think gin, violet liqueur, the simple syrup, and I topped it with prosecco. So yeah, cheers.
Cheers. The floral notes in this drink is so good. Sometimes I feel like floral can taste too perfumey. You know what I mean? Like I'm drinking perfume. This does not taste like that. This is very good.
Yum.
Just subtle perfume.
I was excited to use the violet liqueur though because we've never used that on here before.
I think that's what I love so much about it. Because it's, like you said, not something I'm used to. There's definitely something in it that I just like keep sipping because I'm like, wow, I really enjoy that. And I think it's that.
Fair enough. It brings out the floral notes of the gin without like overpowering anything.
It's fantastic. You should definitely make it. It's delicious. I already tried it before. This is why I'm not having like an honest reaction, just because I already know I like it. Sorry. I can't even pretend like, ooh, I've never had this drink before.
But it was full and we had to walk, so you had to sip it down a little bit.
That's why it was so full up to the rim. I was like, there's no way we're gonna try and sit down on an ice cream couch with this being to the rim. So, anyways, thank you for making me a drink. And we hope that you make it. And if you do, please tag us in it. Or send us a DM. I know some of y'all have come up to us and have said, like, we made your drink. We were like, tag us in it. Oh, we don't post. Oh, that's totally understandable.
That's fair. Let us know, though.
Message us. We want to see. Okay. Should we dive in? Should we talk about characters? What do you want to do?
Whatever you want to do.
Aww.
I feel like you already said, like, this is your book, so you run this show.
Stop with that. I was pretty bad about writing down characters this time, but I remember them.
Okay.
Which is not usual.
Yeah, and we're normally like, say, who's who?
Sigma? But also I kept pronouncing it as Sigma in my brain, which is a brand that makes lots of things, but specifically camera things.
Well, I was thinking Cigna, like Cigna Insurance.
Oh, so true. That's another one. Cigna's our main character. She is immune to death, apparently. And we don't really know why. There's a lot of like speculation of why. I definitely have theories. Then we have Death, who is also a character. But he's a reaper, so it's like Death Reaper type of deal. Then we have Percy, who is a cousin, and Elijah, who is the uncle. And we have, okay, I said that I was going to remember
Is
these.
it Marjorie is the other cousin?
No, Marjorie is the maid.
Yes.
Or the governess. And the cousin is on the tip of my tongue. Oh no. See, I shouldn't have like told I shouldn't have said.
Yeah.
Then I remembered these. They call her cousin a lot. Blythe. Yes. So Blythe is a cousin and she's unfortunately very sick right now. Very suspicious. The mother has passed away, but just recently. There are a lot of like side characters like that I don't feel like are important to go over, but just think other family members like aunts, uncles, a grandmother, but she only called her grandmother. But those are the main characters. And then we have Silas, who is like the stable boy. And he works for the family that takes our lovely Cigna in, that are loaded, very rich, and mourning, and they're all mourning.
Yeah.
They're all sad. So this gave me series of unfortunate events vibes, but like mixed with plants and like actually staying in one place.
Yeah.
At one point, did you feel that like series of unfortunate events?
Yeah, and there was some other series that I've read over the last few years that were like set in the same time period that made this feel like vaguely familiar for that reason of like like I can't touch a man without gloves on my
Yeah.
hands, it's improper.
I loved all the scenes about the improperness just because she's like, let me think back to my guide to being a lady 101 for dummies. And there are so many things where it's like in the back of her head, she's like, this is not correct, but they're like high in society and they're being
Not proper.
wild. Hello. But yeah, so a lot happens. Who do you trust? No one.
Can't trust anybody. Right off the bat, I was like, Silas is suspicious.
I said, wait, Silas is for
Suspicious.
sure sus.
I literally, most of my notes are like sus. Like
Yeah.
Elijah, sus right away.
Same.
I said not a fan of Byron, Elijah's brother. I was like,
so true.
I don't like this guy.
Oh, I literally forgot about him.
I was like, I don't like him. I don't like this guy. Not a fan of Byron.
Yeah.
I was like, what even is Silas? And the whole like he's dressed too well.
Tries so nice for a stable boy.
And then his mention that Elijah like wouldn't even know his name, and I was like, but you work for Elijah. Like, why would he not know who you are?
I don't know. Like for so long, I was like, did the mom and him like have an affair? Like for a long time, I was like, what is this?
Yeah.
Like, there are so many crossovers where I was trying to pinpoint who he is.
Yeah, like what is his actual role in
What
all
is
of
it?
this?
Apparently a stable boy.
I still don't know.
So
A
confusing.
very well dressed stable boy. Is he
Mhm.
like trying to climb the ranks secretly? Like, I'm super confused by Silas right off the bat. I was like, even just like his attitude when he went to pick her up.
Ew.
I was like,
Ick.
and he's just like man spreading in the carriage.
I love though that she was like, well, I'm gonna do it back.
Yeah. Yeah. First of all, man spreading is already annoying enough, but when you're like in a time period where like literally your knee touching someone else's knee is like can ruin this poor girl's like whole reputation, like, bro, get your shit together and move over.
No, seriously, I was so concerned for her. She was concerned the whole time.
She was. So I was like, eek.
Yeah, I didn't trust him. The uncle,
Elijah.
Uncle Elijah. A lot's going on with him, my gosh. Wow, he needs help.
Yeah.
'Cause even when she like arrived, she's like, why are they throwing a party? My aunt just died. And then also the lady of the house died like a few months ago. Why aren't we all still and then she's like, I can't wear a morning dress to a party. That's improper.
and then like when she looks down on the party and is like, oh, this is not what I was told parties are to be.
No, I just imagine every single person like drunk,
Wasted.
blackout drunk.
Yeah, because she mentions like it's proper for like the ladies to like lightly sip on the champagne or whatever, and then it specifically mentions like one of the women like just basically like falling over, like plastered.
Yeah.
And she's like, what have I gotten myself into?
Totally. Yeah. I was nervous for her, especially because she's like, what did I get myself into?
Yeah, she hasn't exactly had the best experiences with Guardians.
Yeah, and even in Silas, in the carriage, was like, you don't have anywhere else to go. Nowhere else. Nothing. Okay.
Here we
Guess
go.
you're going here then.
And then how he like dodged out during the introductions, and he's like, it's better if they don't know I escorted you.
Yeah, that's so weird. That would make me feel uncomfy.
Yeah.
So uncomfy. The whole time I was like, this little weirdo.
It's so weird. He just pieced out.
I thought for sure he did it. I thought for sure he was the murderer for a bit of it. Like, we don't know if he is or not, but he's on my number one sus list.
Yeah.
Well, he's not my number one. He kind of is, actually. The more and more I look at my notes, the more it's like him. But I also, well, we'll get into it more after.
Okay.
But I have quite a few people that are on my sus list.
Okay.
But he's definitely number 1-ish. Number 1.5.
I think it makes it more suspicious that she's like intrigued by him.
Yeah.
Like, you're playing with fire here, girly.
She likes to play with fire.
Mm-hmm.
She's trying to kill herself every 5 minutes.
Literally, just pop some poison. No biggie.
Well, you know. Let me just pop some nightshade in my mouth.
Yikes.
Okay, let's talk about nightshade a little bit.
Okay, please do.
So, as one plant nerd does, I went on a little bit of a deep dive, and I've never looked into nightshade, which is what Belladonna is. But there is something that's really cool. I don't know if you know this, but there's an entire garden dedicated to like poisonous toxic plants that can, like, if you touch them, they will murder you. It's so cool. And in order to work there, you have to like have all sorts of degrees and like certifications and all this stuff.
I could imagine.
So cool. Anyways, so I know a little bit about it just because I did a little deep dive on that specific garden. I mean, not that I would work there, but I just was fascinated by the idea of that. So according to the U.S. Forest Service, the U.S. Department of Agriculture, in Greek mythology, the 3 fates were responsible for spinning, measuring, and length of human life and ending it, which we know thanks to Percy Jackson.
We're mythology girlies.
So one of the fates, Clotho, spins the thread of life. Lachesis measures and allots the length of one life, and Atropos serves it. So the name of Belladonna is derived of Atropos, meaning inflexible, the fate that serves the thread of life. Is that not so freaking cool?
So cool.
So freaking
Oh my gosh.
cool. Also, random fact, they also mentioned in this article that Bilbo's mother was named Belladonna. Okay, so that was like all the way at the end if you scroll down.
That's so funny.
But if you want to know more, they have a really cool little spiel about it and just talking about lots of different things and how it relates to also Italian culture and some pictures of it. I know there's painted ones of it on the cover, but like real life stuff, and a little bit about how it actually affects people. And she walks you through it. I may have double checked it, but I was just curious. And then I also checked like everything on what she talks about it. But anyways, go look it up. It's really interesting.
That is very
I tried to keep that short. Did I do good?
Yeah, you did.
Okay.
It's very fascinating.
It is so fascinating. I'm always curious on why plants are named something other than just like, I mean, a Swiss cheese, like the common name of it is named Swiss cheese because it looks like Swiss cheese. But like this has Greek mythology
so cool
wrapped into it, and it's fantastic. If I remember, I'll put this on our story.
I did a deep dive wondering if any of their names actually meant anything, and I don't know if they do. So Signa means a sign or a signal of something, and Blythe means gentle, and Silas means man of the forest.
Okay, well, there's a part where she describes him as smelling like it or something like that. Or describes him doing something.
Yeah, so I still don't know if those are like big connectors, or I always wonder, like, do authors just like go through a name generator and pick a name?
Yeah.
Or is it like for a reason? And I think there's both.
When they went on the horse ride to the garden. That was in this part.
Okay.
It was. Because he's looking up at the sky and she's like, I've never seen him more at home.
Oh, yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, because that's when she decides that she's gonna trust him.
Yeah.
We may have read a little bit ahead. Just FYI. We're trying our best here.
It's all good. But yeah, so I always am curious because I've seen like the memes of people like sitting in cemeteries grabbing names like for books. But also I know there are some authors who are like very intentional about the names
Which
they
I
choose.
love.
I love too.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't always like make sense to do. Like sometimes it just doesn't mean anything, you know? But I was just curious if there are.
Yeah, reasonings behind it.
Yeah.
To our viewers, did you guys see the little topping that Jessica made? I mean, you're going to see it on Instagram, so if you're not watching, like, whatever. It's fine. But it's so cute, and I'm obsessed with it, and I just picked it up to eat the blueberries, and I couldn't help but say something about it. But yeah, I'm always curious, too. Like, why? That was a lemon. I went to go bite my blueberry, and it was lemon. But I think this is a good point to, like, take a little break. And we'll come back and talk about more of the garden. I think that'll be fun.
Sounds good.
Okay. See you soon. We're back. Okay, so this garden is described as magical. Okay. Number one, I want people to walk through my garden and think magic. That's why I let my weeds grow.
Feed the bees.
Feed the bees. But anyways, she's like, it's magical. It feels alive. It's so lovely. I want to see this freaking garden.
I need some fan art.
Me too. While we're in this garden, I just have to say, something is wrong with me. I love Death. I'm obsessed with him. Like, the character, he's so snarky.
He is.
You know?
But he's also very, like, I don't know, he tries to protect her.
He does. Although he was laughing at her getting stuck in between the gate.
That had to be painful.
Yeah, but she was in between, like, whatever death or whatever she's in on that time. We don't even know. Like, what the heck?
Kind of bizarre.
I kind of picture it as, like, the in-between. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like, because even when she was a baby, and that whole scene, by the way, was crazy.
Oh my gosh.
It's described as her seeing the ghost. And so it's like she can see what's happening on another layer. So that's why I picture it like that.
I wonder, was she born like that? Or did she have, like, remnants of the Belladonna from, like, maybe, like, from, like, feeding from her mom or something, but it, like, wasn't enough to kill her, so it just, like, brought her into the halfway? Or even without that, would she have seen it? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm so curious about her quote-unquote powers.
Yeah.
Like, because she's always, if I touch them, are they going to die?
Yeah, and, like, when she's in that in-between close to death, they will. Like, she killed her aunt that way, and the little hatchling.
Yeah.
And she was like, but then once it wears off, then she can touch people again and not kill them.
Yeah. I kind of wrote on my predictions, I think she's going to become a mutant of death. Like, I picture X-Men, and, like, this is her mutation.
Okay.
That's like kind of where I'm at.
Okay.
So just so you can see. But that's like, I don't know what else to think. Like, I mean, there's quite a few options it could be, but it would make sense if from feeding, like what you said, like if introducing it was almost like the radiation like part of it or something, like that's what caused it. I don't know. That's a good point.
In kind of like Oak in
Slowly.
Yeah. How like
Stone.
he was born with poison in his blood, so he could like do certain things that other people couldn't, or like withstand poisons or something like that. So like but she's not only immune to Nightshade, but like all death.
Okay.
So like she like falls down the stairs and her bones like mend. So
what is she?
But is it because she was like, I don't know, brought partially, or was she just born this way?
Maybe it's Maybelline.
Born this way.
We just went two different places.
Maybe it's Nightshade.
Maybe it's Maybelline.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god, if we still named our episode something funny, it would be maybe it's Nightshade, maybe it's Maybelline. Should we bring that back? I mean, I changed it just in terms of like when people write in a book name, like our stuff will come up. But like, should we bring back the funny names? Because I kind of miss coming up with them. I don't know. Let us know. We'll do a poll. On a random side note, have you been getting like a ton of Disney notifications?
I mean, I was at Disney, so I feel like
I haven't been since February.
Huh.
Also,
just, like,
apparently there's a
random shit.
pass holder lounge
Oh yeah, I saw
At
that
Epcot.
on the Facebook group.
from May 1st to the 18th.
Stunning.
Anyways, I literally it makes me nervous, and I'm like, did I make a reservation?
People on the Facebook group were asking, "Can my family that's not a pass holder come into the pass holder lounge with
No.
me?" No. It's
No,
the
sorry.
pass holder lounge, my friend.
No.
Anyways,
I don't think we're allowed in the DVC if you're a DVC member.
no. You got to be a member of whatever the thing is, I believe.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Anywho, sorry, that was such a random Florida thing. Okay, yeah. So in this garden, she's like trying to get in because Scary Mama. I know she has a name, but I kind of like calling her Scary Mama.
I like that her name is Lillian, though.
No, that's so true. I mean, it's cute. It fits.
It's like the whole
floral
flower vibes
Mhm.
and shit.
But Scary Mama.
She is
Just
a little bit
protecting her
scary.
mom or her children though
Yeah.
from death. Like I love that. Like very well named for being Scary Mama.
Yeah.
'Cause she's just like protecting her kids.
Yeah. Also, Death's warnings, though, of like, careful, these spirits can be a little bit spicy.
They can be. Oh, they can be. It's scary.
Yeah.
So
It was giving
I
like
still
haunting
don't
on Hill
know.
House.
right. So in this scene, is this where she gets to like talk with her a little bit? What was the scene? Like, why did she
Yeah.
get in there?
Okay, so she had talked to her a little bit before when she like wrote in the dirt, but then she does that again here. So she like writes kill, right? And then what's her face? What's the main character's name?
Signa.
Yeah, Signa's like, who killed who? Trying to figure it out, and she figures out that like she was killed.
murdered. Okay.
And then she's like, "Oh, you were
Murder!
poisoned."
Sorry. The ADHD took a hold for that moment. Go ahead.
That's fair.
Go ahead. I'm so sorry.
No, you're good. And I think she like held up the berries, or maybe Lillian like pointed to them or something.
Okay, that's right.
And then she's like, "Oh."
The whole time I'm yelling at her, being like, Silas is not far behind you, bud. Is he dumb? No, because seriously, like how she did not go that fast. Like that was the whole time I'm like, he's going to see her. He's going to see her talking to herself.
And he's going to be like, "How'd you get through that gate?"
how'd you get through the gate? Also, I honestly thought he was going to show up when she was like in between.
Just like impaled.
So wait,
It's like haunted mansion.
what does she look like when she's in between?
Right?
Like, is
Can
she a
other people
ghost?
see
Her?
Like, does she just look like maybe she's like there, but like
Shadow?
faded a little bit?
Transparent?
Yeah,
I don't know. I need more.
I also do.
But she wouldn't know because she's in it.
Yeah.
You know? Interesting. Okay. I love the garden. She has powers. Love that. I literally wrote, is she death? Question mark. Is it like death dies in... Okay, this is where I was getting into like predictions a little bit. Should I save it?
I don't know. Let's talk about it.
Okay, so this was my random prediction in the middle of my notes. Like, this is when I was reading this chapter. I said, is she death? Is it like death is going to die and she takes over? Like, she's the next one? Or is it like, I'm queen of underworld? You know?
Yeah.
So, like, is she just chosen out of, like, I don't know. We're talking about Belladonna, so we're talking about fates here. Is she chosen by fate to be the next death? Like, is death the same person over and over again forever and ever? Or is it something that, like, passes on? What do you think about that?
I don't know.
I know, it's
so hard. I'm so bad at predictions, especially with books like this. But like he is almost like taking her on as a mentor.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, like you
Let me
have these
teach you.
powers. Let me see like how deep this goes. And it's interesting that I really don't think he knows either.
No, I don't think so either, because he would tell her.
Yeah, and he has been like, I've tried to stay away from you your
Oh
whole
my
life
God.
and have not been able to.
Okay, when he said that, I was like, oh, you cute. Like, that's cute.
I have mixed feelings about him because like
He's
I
old.
don't know. He's old and like he was there when she was a baby. You know?
Yeah. At first, I was like, this ain't it. And then I was like,
I go back and forth.
but
I
if
go back
she's
and
deaf,
forth.
also, the other, well, never mind. I don't know.
Cuz like okay, we read these fantasy books and there's these like 600-year-old fae and this like young woman or whatever. But like he has watched her grow up
I
from
think
the
he
time
just-
she was an infant.
But with them, they do have age. They do have years.
Yeah,
He is not.
that's true.
He does not have an age.
That's true.
I don't know. So interesting. Okay. So all that happens. She leaves. Silas is there. Bitch is just gonna trust Silas. She just opens right up.
She does.
She said, well, here you go. I don't know how I feel about that.
But also I think it's like another case of like this girl's never had anyone to confide in.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden there's somebody here available to confide in.
Yeah, and it seems like in that moment he's at least trustworthy. Because he was like, yeah, there's ghosts.
Yeah.
Like, no doubt. We all see it. They hear her crying. Like, it's crazy. All sorts of crazy things are going on. Okay. Do you have anything else to talk about that?
That scene specifically?
Yeah.
No.
So basically they come to an alliance. But I'm like, why not make it an alliance with, like, death?
To make an alliance with me. Yeah. I don't know. There's like some major love triangle vibes going on with Silas and Death and her.
It's crazy. It's wild. Anywho, it's crazy. I just am over love triangles. I'm so over them. Maybe that's why I'm like Silas to the curb. Like, I'm just over it. Anywho, but I will say the closet scene was a bit of a vibe.
Yeah, it was. Especially in the improper times.
I know. She was like, "Oh my god, improper thoughts. What do I do with these?" But in reality though, she's just been going home to home. Like she doesn't have any experience at all of anything. So like, poor girlie.
Yeah, he did though hop right on board with helping her like solve and sleuth and stuff, and was like, "Oh, I can't abandon my masters because then I'll get fired." Oh, but okay, let's do
money?
it anyways. Sure.
You offer money, I take.
Not very loyal, are we, Silas?
No, I think a theme in this is a bit of a greed.
Yeah.
If we were to talk about themes in this book, I would say greed.
Yeah, I agree.
But okay. She meets cousin. I'm dead. You know what? Sometimes we just don't say things correctly. And it sucks. She was like, "You mean you're dead, Mom?" And then she was like, "Oh, shit. That was insensitive. I'm so sorry. I've just been surrounded by death my whole life."
Well, I was going to say, like, it's just people that have experienced death are just go about death very differently. And, like, she has been so desensitized to it. Also, she's, like, immune to death. And, like, literally has evening strolls and chats with death.
Ghost. Oh, yeah, and death.
Yeah.
Right, like literal death.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So, just a little bit different for her. I don't know.
I mean, I get it from both sides. But I think I might just have to. I just like have a soft spot for Cigna,
Yeah.
where I'm like, I get it though. Like you're
Yeah.
just cutting to the case, like to the chase. Like you're dead, mom. Like period.
Yeah.
Like happened.
But also with Blythe, like, as of this point, what she thinks is that she has the same disease that killed her mom, and her mom's dead, and she's like, I'm dying.
Okay. Also, horrific. The reasoning
they-
behind it,
Mm-hmm. And when they described like Lillian and how she looked,
and she still looks like that in death. Oh, that's horrible. Okay, so we get to the point, right, where she's so bold, by the way. So, like, lots happens. I'm going to skip ahead a little bit. She goes in with Percy to chat. This is after the tea, right? Or no, this is before the tea. I think I mixed up that part a little bit. I think tea comes first and then this. It doesn't matter. And at one point, so I do want to talk about death having tea, like literally. So her and Percy go and talk to my girl, Blythe, who's like on her literal deathbed, and she goes over and eats. She's so not discreet. She's like, I'm trying to be discreet. Let me see if this candy, because she figures out obviously like this girl's poison. Like this is belladonna.
Yeah.
Like this is something. I don't know what it is, but it's something. So she takes a bite of the chocolate. She's like, no. Also, let me just finish this chocolate. And then she picks up the tea, and the cousin gets mad. Like, that's my medicine. And I can just picture her looking at her and just being like,
and then doesn't she like go and pour it out the window or
Yes.
something?
because she smells belladonna on it. Girl has been poisoned. Poisoned. Sick.
Yikes.
But I would not be so trusting of her. If I was cousin, whether I was Percy or Blythe,
It's sketch.
I would be like, this random girl, a random cousin I've never met before, is saying that we're being poisoned.
Very sus.
It is. It's strange, but honestly, okay. Also, apparently 600 milligrams can either, I can't remember exactly what it was, either kill a person or really damage them. So I wonder how much they're putting in the tea
Yeah.
and how they find that dosage.
Right. And over such a long term too.
Speaking of tea, do you have anything else to say about that scene?
No.
Death showing up for the tea. I just picture him in the corner with his little teacup. He had a teacup.
So funny.
I love
What
that
a vibe.
so much. Because the whole time he's like, you really want this? They're just gossiping. Honestly, let's have a gossip sesh over some tea. Love.
Stunning.
Let's do it. Maybe we were made for society.
Yeah.
No.
Just kidding.
We're being
Totally
sarcastic.
Sounds like my worst nightmare.
It sounds awful.
And not being able to eat all the scones I want. Excuse me?
Oh, that made me so mad. And then he's like, just eat. If you're hungry, eat the scone.
Yeah. I love him.
Me too. Throws a scone at her.
And then she threw it back at him and it
As
held.
she should.
Yeah, but before when she threw something, it like the knife went right through him.
Do you think he's becoming more and more
Yes.
human as he's
I do. Like he's a lot more like
humanized?
tangible.
Yeah.
And she's becoming like less so. They're like reversing roles.
So maybe she is becoming death.
Does he get a life? What does he get?
Oh my god, does he get a life? What would his
Get a
life
life.
look like? Get a freaking life, death. Stop coming for us. Okay, anyways.
But yeah, I was like, hold up. That's going to hit him.
Why do you think he calls her little bird?
I don't know, but it reminds me of in Hades Town, the Hey Little Songbird.
Yep, exactly what I thought. It must be called a mythology or something.
I Googled it, and the only thing that came up was Hades Town. Like,
Okay.
I can't find any, like, other origin, but it could just be because that's, like, the lyrics of the song, and that's what's coming up. I need to do, like, a deeper dive. But, yeah, that was my first thought was, like,
I love it.
Hades calls.
I kind of like it. It's cute. Also, I'm listening to it on an audiobook, so the voice is like, "Hey, little bird."
Like Hades in Hades Town.
Mhm.
Hey, little songbird.
That's so okay. But the original, like the original cast of it,
yeah.
I can't remember his name at the moment, but his voice is so deep and low.
I can't
Anytime
even
they
hit
they
that note.
cast new people that they don't hit those notes, they decide to go up an octave. I'm like, nope,
Wrong answer.
wrong answer. Okay, little bird, Death wants to help you. He's
been
offers some
helping
help.
you all along too.
Mm-hmm. So now she has help from Death, like hello, and Silas, and they do a lot of sleuthing. All three of them. They end up in the library. Okay, a nice ghost who just wants. Is that not
Yay.
us?
Little ghost bestie.
Is there just like a whole bunch of ghosts hanging out because they didn't read enough? Too many books on our
literally
TBR.
what tethers him to the world is the books to read.
Are we going to be tethered together,
Yes.
reading for the rest of our existence?
Just like holding a ghost podcast.
Oh my god. Okay, whoever's doing art right now, make us into
Ghosts.
two ghosts sitting on a couch. Ready? Love it. Send it. Okay. Where were we? Oh yeah. So he's like, and I love that she's like talking to Silas, but being like, blah blah blah, like, answering
the ghost questions.
but also answering Silas. And then she's like, "Oh, I found the book. We had help."
At least it's a friendly ghost.
I love the idea of a friendly ghost,
Like Casper.
like Casper the Friendly Ghost, but his name isn't Casper.
Nope.
We ended on a little bit of a uphill. Like, it's a positive note. Interesting. I don't like it. You know the trend that's like you should shut your book at a certain point.
Yeah.
That's how
You
I
know
feel.
it's just gonna go downhill from here.
That's how I feel like this is. Like, time to end. I
Yep.
like it. They find the cure.
We're halfway through the book and there's a happy ending. Stunning. Let it be.
Right? Oh yeah, because they're trying to find a cure for the Belladonna. That's what we're missing piece right there for listeners. But like literally, let's end it. Boop.
Yeah. She found the book. Found the cure. Go get it. Do your thing.
This
my
glass
gosh.
is literally so big. I can see
I
you through
know. I did not.
it.
It's like a fishbowl.
That's how I
didn't
picture
expect them to be so big.
when people say like they looked over their glass, but I'm like looking through my glass at you.
It's okay. It just holds more alcohol.
That's so funny. Okay. Predictions. I said mine in the beginning. I think she's a mutant. I think the person who's poisoning Blythe is connected to greed, maybe tearing the family apart for a specific reason. Okay. I can't remember exactly what made me think of this, and you might remember. But I said, I kid you not, quote, OMG, is Percy actually the maid's kid and they adopted him as their own and Elijah doesn't want him to be the owner because he isn't the mom's kid? Okay?
Okay.
And then I said, reasons. The letter. Good. See, I knew I would forget why I was thinking this. The letter that the mom wrote or whatever. And then his unwillingness to make him a part of the business. And he needs to be, Marjorie's need to be helpful in his life.
Okay.
So those are my predictions. It's either Signa is a mutant of death. She is death, period. The reasoning of someone poisoning is from greed or tearing family apart, or there's some sort of weird child situation happening.
Okay. I was kind of lost as far as predictions go. I was like, no predictions, just
I'm
vibes.
a psycho.
And I love it. I absolutely love. But I was like, I'm honestly suspicious of everybody.
Yeah.
I'm so suspicious of Silas because he's just like so willing to help, and I feel like that's sus. And like he was like talking so much shit about the family in general of like, you don't want to be here.
I thought for a moment maybe like him and Percy were in on it.
Yeah.
Silas has to be in it somehow, and I haven't figured out how.
Yeah. I was also kind of suspicious of Percy for a minute, but that kind of went away. Also was like, is Silas like someone's bastard child or something, and that's why he's around
Yeah.
and like well kept. But
I thought that
but also I was like, why would Elijah not know him? So I don't know.
Yeah. Percy on the same level gave me weird feelings since Silas. Like when we
Yeah.
first met Percy and he was like all over the place, I was like, something is going on. Like obviously his mother died, like horrible. But yeah, and like there's obviously something weird going on with some sort of child situation. Like you said, maybe Silas is the quote unquote bastard child. Like we don't know. But those are my predictions. I like your thoughts. I can't wait to find out. I didn't do any Hogwarts houses or Enneagrams
neither.
because
I have
I
no
couldn't
clue.
tell you.
I literally have no clue.
I tried really hard and I was like, I've got nothing.
Mm-mm.
Maybe next time.
Yeah.
I got nothing though.
Yeah, same.
What kept you up?
Disney.
Yay, I love that for you.
My hubby's a Disney kiddo now, and it's so cute.
We've converted Tyler to be a Disney kid.
It was so funny though, because he was like, we were driving through the entrance, and he's like, "This isn't Hogwarts." And then we went on Haunted Mansion, and he's like, "Where's Nearly Headless Nick?" And like the whole day, he was just like,
"This is strange. I'm in the wrong universe."
He's like, "What Hogwarts house are they?"
That's cute. I love that. What kept you home?
I don't know.
That's fair.
Nothing. I was at Disney and reading.
Yeah. So that kept you home a little bit? What kept me up is we're in the midst of spring wedding season, which I love. I'm just a little tired. I need to just work on myself a little bit. And then what kept me home, I've been, like I said last week, reading Red Queen. I wish I didn't reread it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't like it as much. I wish I kept
yeah.
it like how I had it in my head.
Yeah. Dang.
I'm sad I don't reread it.
Okay.
I'm sad.
Dang.
Yeah. Anyways, obviously we're reading. We read chapters 1 through 24 this week.
Yep.
Next week is 25 and on, I think, or maybe whatever. It doesn't matter. Somewhere around that. We're reading. And follow us on Instagram and TikTok and all the things.
Yes. And follow Fern and Fable and Fable Fantasy Events.
Yes, please do, because they're wonderful and they help us out and we get to work with them. Yay. Like, that's so wonderful. And yeah. Cool.
Stay tipsy.
Bye.